Welcome to another episode of On Location Prince George, brought to you with the support of Telestory Hive. I'm your host, Jeff Grunding, and today I have Devin Bianz on with me. I had to say that again just because I always got the last name wrong. But Devin's a motivational speaker and trainer, and he's going to talk about all the workshops and training that he does. Devin, it's great to have you on.
Excellent. It's Bianz.
Did I do it wrong? I knew it. That's great. Okay.
That's okay though. Most people call me Bianz, so I mean it's all great.
Yeah. Well, I know what that's all about. Grunding, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We were talking behind the scenes a little bit about my last name and how I was actually told after 40 years that I've been saying it wrong all these years by an actual German. So yeah.
You can call me anything you want, just don't call me late for dinner.
Right. Yeah.
Ting.
Yeah.
That's from my dad.
You're right on time today, and you're dressed spiffy.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah. So the world of motivational speaking and training, what is that all about?
Well, motivational speaking is actually going downhill. Companies are now more looking for things that can last for a long time. So when they bring in a speaker, they pay more on the training end for someone like me. They pay you to come in. Your training, they want it to last for a year rather than 3 days, right? So a lot of what I do is communications training. I teach people how to tell stories. Funny enough that you teach people how to tell stories. And I used to work with kids all the time. And the crazy thing about working with the youth is you had to actually teach them how to make eye contact with people.
Oh, wow.
It's just the way the world's changing. Now we're running into AI. So a lot of people, they rely on AI to help them write speeches, but the AI doesn't help you connect with people. And I'm a big advocate that you really shouldn't be using AI to write your speeches, and you really shouldn't be using AI to learn how to communicate, because that's how we have that connection going on, and it takes it away from people.
Yeah. Yeah, that AI is a tough one because, like, I personally use it quite a bit to get information. Yeah. I used it to research you and to learn a lot about you.
Yeah.
But I've used it also to write social media posts, but it never sounds like you. Right?
Yeah.
It's not you. It's written in a way that, like, I would never say that. I would never speak that way. So
exactly.
You end up having to change it yourself anyway and rewrite it. You might as well have just done it from the beginning yourself, right?
I was speaking to a guy who worked for C-SPAN, the tugboat company, and he's pretty high up. He's telling me about one of his employees, and he's dating 2 girls. But he's telling me that he's putting all the chats into AI and responding to the 2 girls all through AI. But he was telling me in a way that was surprising, but really, after working with thousands of youth, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
But that's what's happening. So we're relying on it so much that the communication side of our lives, we're going to see it go downhill amongst the leaders coming up of tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, yeah. So when these businesses hire you to come in, what exactly are they hiring you to do?
They're hiring me for morale. They want to increase sales. Like, I went into a car dealership. I mean, these are salespeople already. When you come in there, they're not looking at you like, please give me training. They're looking at you like, get out of here. We're all going to teach you how to sell and speak. But what they don't realize is that by using simple structures and by using little things like audio inflexes or basically sound effects, changing your dialogue, those little tiny nuances add huge value to a sales manager who's trying to motivate their team to help them sell better and have better connections with their clients and customers. So when they bring me in, that's what we work on. Structure, how to engage people, and then body language, because body language is a big part of speaking as well.
Oh, yeah. Can you give me an example of those 3 things, like in the case of a car dealership or a salesperson?
Sure. So if we were to talk about body language specifically, what a lot of people don't realize is that how much body language they use. I don't know if you're aware of the body language you're using right now.
No.
No,
Am
right?
I?
Well, I don't know. A lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
But they speak unconsciously when they're talking like one-on-one. They'll be, yeah, I can talk to one person really well. They'll tell me all the time. But then you put them in front of an audience of people and they'll freeze up, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they're unconscious of this conversation, but they become very conscious of what they would call the bigger conversations. So what I help them do is to become conscious of this conversation. Like, for example, if I were to speak with my hands in my mid-range right here, and you can do it, just put your hands like, and just open them up like that. Yeah, like this is an area of trust, right? So
Oh, I just felt like I started like stealing your thunder a little bit.
exactly.
Like,
See how it works though? When you do that, you're opening it up. So it's very simple. I can easily be talking to you and then open it up to you. And you're gonna get more of a feeling than if I were to just sit here and talk like this and say,
wow.
like if I were to use an example, like if I were to just sit here and go, hello and welcome, that's one thing. But if I go, hello and welcome, we're gonna get more of a feeling out of that.
Oh, yeah.
So my whole thing is about saying the same thing with your body language as you do with your words, as you do with your face. And when you're very congruent with the message that you're sending, people trust you a lot more.
Okay. So you said I might not be aware of my body language right now. Am I doing something or am I presenting in a certain way?
I was just asking if you were aware of it right
I
now.
have no idea.
Yeah, most people aren't, right?
I feel like I just want to sit still. I don't want to fidget. I
Yeah.
don't want to do anything that might distract you.
Yeah.
Right? And make you kind of start like, what is he doing? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the weird thing about speaking. When you first start presenting, when someone first starts getting on stage, they start learning the skill of speaking effectively, they become aware of their body language, and then they're like, oh, I don't. It gets really awkward at first. But if you don't try too hard, how do you know you try hard enough? So you really have to put that effort in, and get through that awkward phase, and then you'll notice that your regular conversations improve, but also your stage presence improves. When you're you could be in front of thousands of people, talk to them exactly the same way as I'm talking to you right now, but because you're just sharing the same message.
Oh, yeah. Is that something that would benefit me in this position as like just a host who kind of gets their guests to speak about different topics and stuff?
Well,
Like,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, it has, there's two parts to this, because there's one part where there's a standard sort of setup. It's like basketball. When you go play basketball, you learn how to dribble, you learn how to pass, you learn how to shoot, right? You could learn in a three-point, like outdoor court, you could become pretty good at those things. But if you really want to take it to the next level, you're going to have to get a coach. But a coach doesn't teach you more than dribbling, passing, and shooting. They just help you hone in on your skills. So when it comes to speaking, you have a way that you do things. So there's a certain way that you ask a question. So what I would do is I would look at how you do it naturally, and then I would help you do it maybe a little bit more effectively. So a lot of times when I'm training, I'll put someone on stage and we'll have them do it their way. And then I'll say, well, let's do this tweak and see how this works. And then we'll ask the audience. You know, it's like we're just testing all the time. And the audience will often say, oh, I like it better that way.
Yeah.
And so now they know as a speaker, well, that way is more effective. Because as a speaker, a lot of times we resort to the lowest common denominator because it's scary. People are learning in fear. You're in school. They throw you up in front of a class. Like, hey, do a presentation. And the kids, no teacher's teaching them what to do. So the kids are reading their presentation. They're putting it on a PowerPoint and reading the PowerPoint. And they think that's okay, right? And then you go to university and a lot of the professors they're more information sharing, which is going to the wayside. We're going to learn that information and overload right now is becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And so they're learning from professors where, you know, I have a friend and he teaches at Harvard and he's a researcher. And these are Harvard level students and he actually teaches speaking. And they'll come to him and they're like, wow, my professors don't talk like that. Why should I? And because it's effective. This is more effective. You're gonna get more of a result. If you're a professor, you're in that class, you have to be there. But in the regular world, people are they'll tune you out. Look at on the Zoom. A lot of times on Zoom, you can literally see people just scrolling other screens and their faces lighting up while they're listening to a presenter. Well, that presenter's not getting through to them how they would like to, really. How you imagine in your head.
Yeah.
So and on one level, I'd say, yeah, it would help, but like, we really want to figure out what you do and then make your presence and persona stronger.
Okay. One thing I'm noticing right now that you've kind of brought it to my attention, I'd never thought of it before today, is you're talking a lot with your hands, right?
Yes.
Even when you were talking about basketball, like I would sit here with my hands together like this. Say,
Yeah.
Yeah, a coach doesn't teach you how to, dribble better. But you're actually going, a coach doesn't teach you to dribble better. Like you're using your hands to kind of explain. And now that I'm aware of that and listening to you talk, it sounds like way more exciting. Seeing your hands doing stuff and your body moving and you like leaning in and leaning back. And I can actually feel that now in the conversation.
And I can feel it when you do it.
Yeah.
Like there's a feeling that's generated. So, but then you got to remember, everybody's a little bit different. But if you learn how to do it, then you have a choice. Now you can use it or you don't have to use it. So, but you can tune into it at any time. But when you don't know how to do it and you just don't know or you're unaware, then you never can tune in or tune out. So let's say that I go to a wedding and there's an open mic. You know for a fact I'm going to get on the mic and I'm going to love it. And we're going to have a great laugh with the audience. It's a skill set, but I don't have to get on the mic if I don't want to. Whereas a lot of people, that would be if they have a great story that they'd like to tell, but now they're in a situation where they could tell it and it's scary for them. So when you really hone into your own communication skills, it opens up a whole new world. You can, if you're single, you don't have to be on Tinder. You can walk up to a girl or a guy or whatever you want to, wherever you want to, and talk to them, a stranger, networking for businesses. If a business person is scared of networking, if they learn a little bit more about how they communicate and communicate better, I mean, networking becomes super easy. We have a mutual friend, Scotty McWalter, and he always tells me how I can just walk up to people and just talk to them and they're like my friend instantly. But I'm just using the skill set that I've learned and that I teach to other people. Oh, yeah. So it allows a lot of freedom. And it's like, I think it's the best dang skill set anybody could learn, but it's just not taught in schools and it drives me nuts. Yeah. And I've trained in Canada, I've trained in China, Brazil, I've trained at the best, highest level of private schools around the world. And the only kids who are learning the skill set are the kids who are in debate class or who are actually taking speaking classes outside of school. And that to me is mind-blowing because, people are always like, you don't go to school and learn about money. You should, right? They always say that. Yeah. But you should be learning about communication as well.
Yeah, especially nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty amazing. And now I can see somebody who's got that skill set would be like miles ahead of the next person who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And like if you're just a person selling a car, like the first thing I think when I go I want to go take a look at that Jeep over there and I kick the tire and I see that guy walking towards me, I'm like, hide, right? Come back after hours or something. But I did have this guy. Yeah. I did have this guy approach me one time and he was drinking a coffee and he's just talking to me. And I thought like, oh, he's not even a salesman. He's just another guy looking at the Jeep. Right? And so I was like, yeah, it's pretty nice. And he's like, yeah, like I love the wheels on these. Like, look at those wheels, eh? And he's talking to me. And like we talked for a while. And then at the very end, he was a salesman. Yeah. So he kind of he sort of tricked me in that way, but he made me feel comfortable. Like, hey, I'm just a guy. I'm not trying to sell you this thing. Right. I'm trying to get you to want to buy it on your own or something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, that is the challenge with being a car in that industry because, as soon as you walk out there, people are already like on edge. They already have to fight that off.
Yeah. That's exactly how I felt. Yeah. Yeah. Funny. But, okay, what were those other two skills? You had mentioned, like as a car salesman, you had mentioned one thing and then you had mentioned there were two other things.
Okay, so first of all is body language. How do we speak with our body?
Yeah.
The second part is how do we engage people? A lot of times, people always, I ask a lot of questions. Normally, you're asking me questions now, so I'm sharing more information. Yeah. But when I'm when I'm speaking too, I'm always asking the audience questions. I think it's from dealing with the youth, actually, because if they don't care, they're not even interested or paying attention. And it happens in adult audiences too. You go into a conference, you see people on their phone, and you're the speaker. I don't like to see that. So I'm engaging them. I want to know. I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know where they're at. I want to know what level they're at. I want to know who's in this audience, who is willing to speak up. Who actually has a fear? Because when I go into a new audience and I'll ask them, oh, who here has a fear of speaking? And then like half the audience will put up their hand, and I'll say, oh, sorry, I hit the mic. Put up their hand, and I'll say, oh, tell me about it. And they'll get up and spend 5 minutes of the time explaining to me their fear and everything. And I have to cut them off. And then I'll tell them, like, you don't have a fear of speaking. Like, you literally just stood up in front of all these people and just rambled on. It's rude to say it how it sounds right now, but the truth is like that's not a fear. Someone who has a fear would not put their hand up.
Oh yeah.
They would not speak out. So when I'm engaging them, like, that's what I want people to know. I want people to know that I do this for a living. I love it. I'm here for all of us, and I bring them up on stage, and you see people who have this major fear, like actual fear of speaking.
Yeah.
And they'll come up on stage, and that's the third one, structure. So simple structures, like I have a whole bunch of them, but like let's say a simple list. Here are 5 things that you could learn about, well, in your case, interviewing. Mm-hmm. You could have 5 things, you just list them out. Well, it's a very simple structure. Anybody could use that. Which could help you in many situations. Here are 3 ways that you could become a better speaker. And just list them out. So you're giving an opening, a body, and then a conclusion. Okay. And if every speech, even an interview, anytime someone's interviewing you, you have your opening, body, conclusion. And then within that, there are different structures that you can use to keep the audience on their toes, to keep them paying attention, and to help them to get to where they want to go as well.
That's interesting. So I guess when like we learn that in school in English class for like writing, right? Like
exactly.
A paragraph. So you kind of follow that same structure in just kind of like normal conversation with people, or
Yeah, 100.
Right.
And then you add things like quotes, and you ask questions, and you tell stories that have hooks. I call them hooks, but like, has it ever occurred to you that little things? If I were to listen back to even how I talk to you, I'd be like, okay, there's where I used a hook, there's where I used some filler, and there's where I recapped, and there's the callback, and that's when I'm watching a speaker, that's what I'm seeing, is even comedians. You know, we listen. Either they got it or I hear this all the time. Either you got it or you don't. But it's just. That's not the case. It's all the skill set.
Yeah. I find with comedy, I watch a lot of comedy, listen to a lot of comedy, and that's one of the things that they have is they kind of plant that seed of that joke, right? Mm-hmm. And then they kind of go through it, and then at the very end, they kind of tie it all together, and there's your kind of punchline at the end of this 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minute long commitment of this joke, right? Yeah.
And you can watch that happen, and you love it.
Yeah.
And it actually, you feel good even though you see it and you know it, whatever, you don't know exactly what's going to happen. But for you as a listener, it feels structured in your mind, which helps you to appreciate the joke more.
And to know that it's coming.
Yeah.
You kind of feel good about yourself for like picking up on it and
exactly
being able to follow
like
it.
watching a movie. You know how you're making guesses? Like, my wife and I are guessing what's going to happen next. And I'm usually wrong, but
yeah, I'm always wrong. There's so many times I'll watch something and I'll have like no clue. Right?
Yeah,
I just watch like, oh yeah, there's a gunfight, there's a car chase. You know, watch that kind of stuff.
You're living the moment.
Yeah,
me too.
Which is another big thing for you.
And it's nice to be in the audience, being able to be in the moment, knowing that that speaker's got control of. You're not worried about the movie, like you're just living in it.
Yeah.
And you're not worried about the speaker. You're just in that moment with them. Yeah. And it could be, you don't have to be on a big stage to be doing this. It could be, my whole thing is about practicing in everyday conversations. How many times do you go to the grocery store and they ask you, oh, how's your day going? And what do people say? Yeah, exactly.
It's
good.
right.
They probably hear good, it's all right, like 18,000 times.
Yeah.
So I'll have my clients go in and come up with a single one-liner that they could use when they go into a grocery store and they use it repetitively until they get really good at getting a reaction out of people. And then that reaction helps them to understand just a little bit more about getting reactions out of people.
Right.
And then I'll have them come up with a little story. I teach a little story structure for them. And then they have to tell that story to their friends or their family. They work it into a conversation without anybody knowing about it. They're not saying, hey, I have a story I'm working on. They just work it into a natural conversation.
Yeah.
And that helps them develop their stage presence.
That's so true, because like I can think of like specifically the person at the grocery store, right? The person asks you, how's your day today? And you kind of feel like that's just a repetitive conversation. They're not actually asking you how your day is. They're saying that to everyone, right?
Exactly.
But if they bring up a different question, it kind of catches you off guard a little bit, and you go, oh, like, yeah, you answer it in a different way, and then you start engaging with that conversation where you might not have with the how's your day. Right?
Exactly. And you can take that how's your day going, and you can turn that into something different for them as well, and get them out of their normal just question they ask 1,000 times.
Is that something you could answer right now? Like, if there was somebody that you needed to get talking for some reason, like you needed to break the ice with this person, how would you ask them, like, how's your day, in a way to get them talking?
I would usually look at the scenario, what's going on. Here's one, I'll just give you some examples while I'm spinning off my head. But I used to have this one line when someone would have a dog and they'd be walking by. I said this 1,000 times at least. I'd be like, is that a people-eating dog? And either they'd go, what? Or they'd start laughing.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for those one-liner phrases. Instead of how's your day going, I'm just looking for a one-liner yes or no. Get them in the yes or no so they don't have to think too hard.
Yeah.
So like, let's say I walked in here and I wanted to make conversation with you and I wanted to know a little bit more about you. I'd say, oh, you got a lot of equipment in here.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say, is it all your equipment? And boom, that's question number 2. Now it's getting a little bit more open-ended.
Yeah.
And so now I'm starting to engage in that conversation.
Okay. Yeah. So I have had questions like that where somebody would ask me, like, is it all your equipment? And then I'd probably be like, yeah, you know what? Over the last 3 years, I've been collecting, I've been doing interviews, and then I wouldn't stop talking, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing, finding that connection for people, because everybody has something they want to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And once you make that connection for them, then you can it's easy to converse with them.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh, I'm learning a lot. I'm going to have to pay you after this. Consultation.
Well, invoice you.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so body language. Yeah. So you had mentioned the body language, and I'm noticing that right now. It feels like such a more fun conversation than just kind of sitting back and talking to us. See, even that, just you said yes. Right?
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And once you start to notice it and pay attention to it, you want to do it more too. And also you're feeding off the people that you're with.
Yeah.
Sometimes if like, let's say I was sitting here, I'm a little different because I don't look at it as like, when I connect with people, I want to connect with them on different levels. So maybe it's my tonality. If you're sitting like this, and maybe I'll bring my tonality down a little bit, but I'm always speaking my body language. It's just something I do naturally now, all the time. But for a lot of people, you could match, in sales, you match someone's body language.
Oh, yeah.
Like let's say you're coming in and it's morning, you're at a conference and it's morning. Okay. And the audience has just barely had their coffee. Like, they're not going to want you to be dancing on stage and I'm a high energy, right? Oh, they don't like that. So you got to come in, make a couple jokes about the morning. And even if you dance up and run up on stage and you have high energy, bring it down and meet them where they're at and then bring them to where you want to go. Pacing and leading.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Man, I'm learning a lot. You had mentioned living in the now, and that was something I read on your blog. I think it was your blog. You talked about that. Living in the now, you're a big living in the now type person. We talked about that being like with regards to the movie, right? How is living in the now? Like, how do you live your life that way?
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
Story time. Let me tell you a story. When I was in my early 20s, so like 21, I was coming home on my street bike and I'm going down the straight stretch of highway out to my parents' place. And my bike runs out of gas. And I was going to flick the reserve tank on, which is under the seat. And as I'm slowing down on the highway and it's nighttime, it's really late at night, my neighbor's trying to catch me in his F-150 and bam, he hit me from behind. He was going like 140. I hit the pavement. My helmet broke off my head and I had a major outer body experience, which was awesome. It was amazing. In that moment, I almost wish I died. It was so good. I felt peace. It was like oneness. There was no pain or suffering. And then there was this voice like, you're not gonna die. Now's not your time. You're not gonna die. I just woke up for this 1 second on the pavement and I passed back out and I woke up in the hospital like a few days later. I didn't even know who I was or where I was or anything because my helmet had broke off. So it was almost like that. When I first came back, it was so brutal because I couldn't move and they had to come and get me on a little stretcher and take me so they could wash me because I couldn't wash. Like my arm, my whole body was just a bunch of vertebrae were all cracked and it was pretty painful. But in that moment, I started to appreciate the moment because you can't get out of it. You're stuck in it. You're trying to get out of it. You know, you can't live in the future. You can't live in the past because there's so much pain in your body that you're just stuck right there in the now. And then as my life went on, I was reflecting more and more on that because it got better. And I really was like, I'm driven. I'm going to become the best ever. And that's when I moved to Prince George. I bought a house here. I went to school. I went to all these doctors, and these doctors are telling me, you have PTSD, you have brain trauma, you have depression. They're prescribing me all these pills all the time. This is when the opioid thing was big, so they're prescribing opioids, but I wasn't taking them. But there's still, in my head, I was like, no, I'm the best. I got a bike. I was riding a pedal bike around. And there was something still in the back of my mind, though, that I ended up given in to this, what I call the victim system. Because when you go to enough doctors and lawyers, they start telling you your future is going to be, it's going to be bad. Things are going to be worse when you're older. Like, you don't really know what to believe. There's a term for it. It's like parallel processing, where you can't control your own thoughts, even though we think we can. We can only control the reactions to our thoughts. And so when I was in all of these, going through this situation, I was trying to be in control. But then I allowed like drugs to get into my life, and then it really took me out of control. And I went to that huge place of negativity, that point where you wake up and you don't recognize yourself anymore. And it was in that moment, and this is to answer your question, where I started to write. And I was writing this book. I'm writing and I'm writing and I'm writing and I'm writing, and I'm like, I wrote for like a year, and I read it back. I'm like, dang. I don't feel that way. And I'd rewrite it. I'd be like, yeah, that's a little better. And I'd rewrite it and I'd rewrite it. And then I was like, you know what? As crazy as I'm reading, as I'm like reflecting on my life, I'm like, it doesn't matter the bad things we go through and the really good things, because that's kind of what was happening. I had really low lows and really high highs. Mm-hmm. And then it doesn't matter those. Like, what matters is that when you're in those moments, you're feeling something, you're feeling alive.
Something, yeah.
And I'm feeling alive all the time. Like, whether it's bad or whether it's good, I started to think like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling alive. So then I started to allow myself all the feelings of the moment. And when you're just, all the pain, whatever you're feeling, you allow it. And then that's how I really started to live in the now, was just by being able to reflect. And I was like, we can also write about the future. And then you manifest the future, and then the future becomes real sometimes. And then you feel like, oh, I can control my life, but you can't, right?
Yeah.
But you can enjoy this right here, this moment right now.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that's to sum up that big, long story. It really happened by writing and reflecting all the moments that we've been through.
So somehow writing it down, reading it back, and then realizing like you had written something one day and then you felt different about it the next day.
Yeah.
And you tried to rewrite it.
Yes.
You kind of realized yourself that even the negative was maybe a positive in some way because you were feeling something.
Exactly.
Right.
You can see it. Now you can see it. A lot of times we imagine it, and our imagination can blow up real big. But when you put your imagination out into the words and writing, even pictures, whatever it is. Actually, I learned that here in Prince George at the Brain Injury Center. They're like, you gotta draw pictures and I used to draw these terrible pictures. And I always remember this one. They were taking me around, and there was a picture of this. It was a car. It's on fire, and there's this. Somebody's burning, and there's like a baby in the back. Like, it was horrific. I was like, whoa, wow. But they were just getting it out. And we look at it, when we look at it, we might go, that's horrible. But really, the truth is, when you get it out, you can also get rid of it at that point. Whereas if you leave it in, a lot of times it just keeps on going and manifests into other things. That's what I find for myself personally.
Yeah. So that picture, and now I'm curious about that because those pictures, are they doing that to kind of test you, like after the accident, of how you react to certain images and stuff like that? Kind of like an ink blot sort of test?
I think that what they were really doing was wanting you to feel your emotions. I think that's what they were helping us do, was to feel our emotions.
Oh, wow.
Because for someone like, not just me, but a lot of other people, they don't allow themselves to feel things. They try to just cover it up or push it away. And when you allow yourself to feel things, it's like a whole new world. You hear a lot of drug addicts talk about that, you know.
Yeah.
I stopped doing drugs, and I allowed myself to feel all the pain and everything, and it helped me to learn that I can handle it. That's not that big of a deal, that I can get over it.
Oh yeah. Huh. Wow. Yeah, that's something. That's like an epiphany that everybody needs to experience at some point. Something, right?
I feel that way. But at the same time, like, I used to have my wife, I'd be like, you gotta write out your feelings. You have to do it. And I'd give her a book. And then she would, so this one time I came home, and there's about 30 or 40 pieces of paper all over the floor. She's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So everybody's different. It's like the body language thing. Everybody's a little bit different. But there's certain aspects that remain consistent with everybody.
Yeah. Well, even with the body language, I feel like, I feel like being around you. You see me doing it? I'm doing it. That's what I was going to...
It looks better, man. I'm telling you.
I was just going to explain that I feel more natural doing it around you just because you're doing it.
Yeah.
I caught myself 3 times doing it, just explaining it. And I'm doing it. You go watch any of my other previous episodes. I'd just be sitting here telling the person.
Yeah.
Yeah, how I felt.
Just even when I'm with you, it is more engaging. I would encourage you and anybody else to do more, just a little bit more. It makes a big effort. When I used to walk around Vancouver, because I'd be training at places, people would shout out, because my whole thing, they'd get on stage, they'd be all nervous. I'm like, okay, just put your hands like this, go, hello and welcome. Everybody started like that. I'm like, yeah, they'd be like stuttering, whatever, like, hello and welcome. They'd start speaking. So I'd be walking downtown Vancouver, and then someone would shout from across the street, hello and welcome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that became an anchor for my trainings, really.
Oh, yeah.
But that was all it was, just opening up your hands, just starting right there, and then going from that.
Yeah, I've known people like that they just seem like so like high energy. And I find like myself, I cannot match that at all.
Yeah.
Like I cannot match energy like that. And if I do, I feel like I'm kind of just playing it, like I'm pretending a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's not really me.
Exactly.
Like you talk about the stage, right? Like fear of being on stage. You know Alex McKenzie?
I've heard
comedian?
the name. Yeah. I've watched him. He's hilarious, man.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Yeah.
He's talked about how you have to like deliver a joke, and then like while you're on stage, you like deliver the punchline.
Yeah.
And he's like, then you got to pause and just stand there while the audience laughs and kind of takes it in. And he's like, but you're standing there like 5, 6,
Exactly.
7, 8.
Exactly. And it literally can be 5, 6, 7, 8. And a lot of times speakers, comedians, they do wait, they have to. Speakers will just rush through it. They're like, oh, they didn't laugh. They'll rush right through it.
Oh, yeah.
But I literally count in my head, you know. I'll drop some dumb dad joke.
Oh, yeah.
And you wait 10 seconds. People in the audience will laugh because they think they had to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
But they'll all end up laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was pretty funny. I saw him in Vancouver, actually, yeah.
Was it Hungry for Laughs? Or?
And here's another point that I want to make as well. It was just his own. He just came in, did his own show. But I also find that it helps with your stage presence and is to be a good audience member. So when you're talking to me, or if I were listening to you, I would even if I wasn't really interested in what you're saying, I'm going to be an active listener. It's not the easiest thing to do, but when you're an audience and you laugh at jokes that people always say that I laugh at jokes that aren't funny, who cares? It's a joke. You enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you clap and you enjoy the speaker, you're going to be better on stage by enjoying. You're going to be a better conversationalist if you actually take the time to listen to somebody else speak, whether you like them or not, whether you're making, at some point you'll stop making the judgment calls and you'll just start enjoying who they are.
Yeah. I heard a speaker once say that like professional speaking is more about listening than speaking.
Yeah.
Is that
for
something?
sure?
Yeah?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, you have to listen to the problems that people are facing, like the real problem. If I could go on stage and if I'm just assuming everything I know about my audience, a lot of times I'm wrong. I don't know what people are thinking or feeling, and a lot of times they don't know what they're thinking or feeling. So for me, I listen a lot to what people tell me about their fears of speaking. That's how I get to know people. They'll tell me all their fears. They'll tell me everything they're going through. And then I'll listen to their strengths, and they'll tell me all their strengths. And I'm listening so that I can develop courses around what they actually need rather than me just thinking, I know what you need. You need this. Even though I kind of do. I'll tell you another quick story here. I used to think that everybody needed to just learn some structure and they'd be a better speaker. And it played out 99% of the time. It would work. Someone learned some structure, they get on stage, be able to tell stories. So I have this one client, and I'm talking to her, and she has like a real fear, something that went back long before structural never helped her, basically. And I started talking to her, I'm listening to her, and she's going into telling, and I actually ended up having to have her close her eyes and imagine her timelines below her, and she's going back and she's finding this moment where it happened, and she starts crying, and it was a really powerful experience. We're both crying. That's another thing about listening, right? That you're crying, I'm feeling the same emotions as you. And so then we came back out. I told her, you bring all this power that you have now, teach that to wherever you're at in this life. And she comes back. And it turned out that a teacher berated her when she was really little. And it lasted her life. It was so bad that she shut it out of her memory. And she already didn't like school, and she was berated so bad in front of this class that fear came with her. She couldn't even talk to them. She had ran a big company, couldn't even talk to her employees. It was that big of a fear. And when we released that, see, this has nothing to do with structure or anything. When we released that, she was just, boom. Everything changed for her.
That's unbelievable when stuff like that happens. It's like unbelievable to hear it, just like a breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happens. Yeah. So for some people, there really is a fear.
Wow.
But for a lot of people, we make up sorry, I don't mean this to be rude, but we imagine the fear, and it's really not a fear. It's a structural body language. We just don't know what we're doing. It's It's hard for me to go play a sport. Even I feel I'm such an athlete. Come play. Let's say I had to go play pickleball. I would feel pretty uncomfortable playing, even though people are like, it's easy, it's a good sport.
Yeah.
Until you learn the sport a little bit, like I'm not going to feel comfortable. I'd be embarrassed to go in front of, when there's 12 courts lined up.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that feeling. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to do anything without getting a little bit of experience in it first, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's like we were talking about Scott there. Scott took us, this is how I met Devin. We went on a hike up Mount Pope. And I actually trained for it. I was walking, I was doing other hikes and stuff because I didn't want to just show up there having not walked anything before. And even as it was, that training turned out to not even be enough because I felt like I barely made it to the top.
Thank goodness you did it.
Yeah, right? I might have been sitting at that first bench where I was unloading all my Gatorade to reduce the weight in my backpack. Yeah.
That could have happened.
It could have happened. Yeah.
So you prepared for the event.
Yeah.
Exactly. 100%. I didn't prepare for that event, but I go to the gym and everything. So even and I've done hundreds and hundreds of hikes too, I'm sure you have as well. And even I was a little bit nervous. I went snowboarding for the first time in 15 years this winter. And it was embarrassing. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, what if I can't get up? I'm going to embarrass myself in front of it because I used to be a pretty good snowboarder. What if I suck? And then I got there and it was easy. It was just strapping right in.
Yeah, so much fun too, right?
Yeah, so we all go through that at some point in everything that we do, really.
Yeah, yeah. Another funny thing about that is there was, I was invited to a run group. So instead of just going on hikes and going on walks, it's hey, you should try running, right? You can learn to run a 5K with this group. And I thought, hey, yeah, a lot of people, in the 1 year kind of leading up to my decision to inquire about it, probably 8 different people told me about it. You should look into this run group. You should look into it. So I inquired into it, right? And unfortunately, it was full and I couldn't do it.
Oh.
But I felt like where can I learn to run before I go to this learn to run group? Because I didn't want to go there.
That's good.
People who had never run before were going to this, right?
Exactly.
And I was I need to learn how to run before I go to this learn to run group.
Right.
That teaches you. And it was so stupid. But it's exactly what you're talking about, wanting to get that experience first or not.
What did you learn to do when you were learning to run before the group?
Well, I never went to the group because it was full.
You never
Honestly,
went there.
It was full, right?
Yeah.
I had checked in too late. But just went online, searched breathing techniques.
Yeah.
How to what kind of shoes I should get, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't have running shoes. I usually wear hikers and stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Just did my own research. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you go in and then now you have a little bit of knowledge about it, and then you go in. Now you get to gain more confidence because now other people are sharing ideas and everything with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I find that it's exactly the same in my business. A lot of people don't know a professional speaker. Maybe they'll know a Toastmaster or they'll know somebody when you surround yourself with professional speakers and you know just a little bit about it, they teach you so much more.
Oh, yeah.
Of their knowledge and wisdom, and it gives people confidence. And they're like, I want to share my story.
Yeah, yeah. There's when you were talking about fear and stuff, this was a fear of mine, was hosting this episode. I've done this for a couple years, and I was always behind the camera, right? I'm doing what Janet's doing right now. And
yeah,
there
nice.
was a different host and their guest. And yeah, I was always behind the camera guy until sometime middle of 2025, maybe the middle of last year, a year ago,
yeah.
I kind of started vlogging a little bit. So I would turn the camera at myself.
Yeah.
And I would say, hey, I'm setting up the studio today. I'm going to do a green screen video today. And I started talking about the different projects I'm doing. And that really opened it up for me because that fear kind of went away. And then when I had to sit in this chair, it made it so much easier. Because I felt like I had already I'd already been there a couple times, right?
100%.
Yeah. But sorry, I was just going to tell you one story about Alex McKenzie's show.
Yeah.
He had hired me to come shoot one of his shows one time.
Yeah.
And he said, one clip that I want, if you only get one shot the whole night, what I want is you to follow me out on stage.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, but I'm like, this was before I was ever in front of a camera. And he's like, what I want is you to follow me out on stage
Yeah.
and then kind of circle around behind me and get that whole
That's such a
audience
good
in the
shot.
shot.
That's the best shot for a speaker.
But I wasn't thinking that. I'm thinking there's like 1,000 people out there, and I'm going to be like walking across the stage with a camera looking at Alex. And I was so nervous about that.
Yeah.
I was just like terrified, right? Like I was actually like wanted to tell him I didn't want to do it.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
that nervous
Yeah.
about it. And then him or somebody told me they're just like, nobody's looking at you.
Exactly.
Like, they don't care what you're doing. They're looking at
Exactly.
him. He's going to be laughing and bowing and doing his all.
It's the money shot for a speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
We brought in a cameraman for one of my clients too. Got that exact same shot. I was like, we need this for his reel. And I wonder if that cameraman was feeling the same thing, but I was like, no, you got to get it in there.
Yeah.
You know, he had the gimbal thing on there, and
Yeah.
it turned out it's the best shot you can get. You really did. You did a solid by getting it.
Oh, yeah. I hope so. I hope
Did
it
you
was
feel good after? And then after, you're like, that was nothing, right?
Yeah. Then after,
Yeah.
then after, I don't know. I think I just realized, like, yeah, nobody's looking at me.
Yeah.
They're not watching Jeff up on stage. Like, they don't care about me.
And now they are looking at you a little bit more.
Yeah.
So now you can elevate your presence just a little bit more. You're going to find that you get a different reaction out of people by doing that.
Yeah. I found it huge. I've actually had a lot of people like come up to me in the last year and because they recognize me. Hey, we heard about you for this or heard about you for that.
Yeah.
And it's really a strange feeling. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like I do so much work for other people. I often will just like, I won't even like reshare content because I don't know. I don't like the attention in some way, right?
Yeah, yeah. Of your own content, you mean?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
my own content. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel like I want to look like I'm bragging or stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know. But then I found out, well, you kind of have to. Like, if you want to be
No
successful
choice.
in business, you got to show people what you're doing.
Exactly.
And like even something like this, like I feel like, well, I've already taken pictures of my lights and stuff. Like, why would I do it again?
Yeah.
But I should be doing that, right?
Right.
I should be showing you here as my guest and me here talking to you and us having this
Yeah.
conversation and that this whole thing is available in some way.
Yeah.
right?
For
Like,
other people.
For other people,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, it's not bragging.
And they love it.
Yeah.
People are looking for. You ever go on to a podcast group on Facebook and someone's like, "I'm looking for podcast guests." You see 8,000 comments. Pick me, pick me, pick
Oh,
me.
yeah. Yeah.
Like you have an endless string of guests.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. People want to be here with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Sharing their message. So it's very powerful that you are sharing that with people.
Yeah. Well, and it gives me, access to cool people like yourself who've got
Thanks.
cool stories and are just in an industry that's like really interesting.
Yeah.
Because like when I talk interesting, I mean, you mentioned Brazil. Like you do talks in Brazil, like coaching
I was
in
training,
Brazil?
yeah, training
You were
youth.
training?
What happened was when I first started, when I was like, I'm taking this seriously, and I trained these kids in Vancouver, and we entered this international speaking competition. And I think I entered a bunch of students in this competition, and they went through. So they had to send in a video. Then they went through like semifinals all the way to get to finals. So I put in a bunch of students, and then a bunch of them made it to finals, and it was pretty awesome. So what happened was there was all these other kids from around the world, from China, from all these other countries who were in this international competition, and some of them were good speakers. And so I would have my students out on the street because they were new. All my clients were new. Like they didn't know anything about speaking. I'd have them on the street and making them deliver speeches with people walking by. Oh, they hated it. But they wanted to win because, they're also Asian students and their parents had a lot of pressure on them, which was crazy. But so they'd be on the street and I'd be like, no, stop, do that line again. Let's stop traffic with it. Anyway, we went in there and we cleared out all the trophies. We took every podium in every phase, and that one competition blew up my phone. And from there, I was training youth speakers for the next, I don't know, this must have been like 3 years probably, and I was just training back to back, like 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day sometimes. Wow. And then so then it was like students from around the world started, and wealthy students, like not the wealthiest of the wealthy I trained, because they know the value of communication.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even charging that much. So it's like anybody could have done it. Anybody could have got involved. But it just so happened that I guess a lot of people just aren't aware about it. So it's good we're sharing this. So maybe more people can become aware of it.
Yeah. What do you think, what would you attribute that success to? Of taking all those trophies? Like, was it had to have been more than just hard work. There must have been like.
I attribute it to doing the exercises. Perfect practice makes perfect. That's a Vince Lombardi coach. And when you do the exercises and then I help you write this, and that's the other thing. I don't write my clients' speeches for them either. I make them write it. I help them work through it, teach them the way. So my goal when I work with a client is to help them to become confident in their own material and their own way of saying it. But by doing the simple exercise, by doing these weird things that make you feel weird, like putting your hands up and then saying something preachy, like you can do it, you can take over the world. Like people don't normally do that. But if you did it just a little bit, you did it around your family or friends in situations where nobody really knows that you're not supposed to be doing it, then they gain this confidence that, and I used to train these youth speakers and they'd all come to me and they'd all be shy and I'd teach them all this stuff and then they wouldn't stop talking. So I'd tell people, I don't want to train the youth anymore. Once you teach them, they get this ego about them. And so then I really started to focus and change up, so I wanted to work more with adults, and that's kind of how I got into corporate. And I teach the same thing to corporate clients that I taught to 10-year-old kids. The same everything. And sometimes I would tell my corporate clients, there's a 10-year-old student who could do this, and excel at it. And you can do it too. And a corporate client would elevate their speaking to whole new levels. And I do it today with my current clients. I really mainly work with now just executives, like people who are really into speaking. They have companies and they speak for their company, but they're also getting on big stages, like conferences and stuff. Oh, yeah. And I teach them the same exercise, and I have them just send me, you're talking about the videos? I have them send me like videos, just daily videos I give them sometimes topics, sometimes I don't give them a topic and make them just send me a 2-minute video. And they learn to listen to like the sound of their voice, because that's one thing you learn about professional speakers. Right. They love the sound of their voice, they love their stage presence, they can watch themselves for hours.
I hate those 2 things myself.
Most people do. Most people do. But when you listen to yourself over and over, because think about it, if you really love to watch yourself and listen to yourself, I mean, it would be impossible not to have other people love and listen to you. Huh. But if you really love listening to yourself and hate watching yourself, like now you're on that side of the fence, where the people who are hating you. So you want to look for those people who love your content. And so when they come up to you and they're like telling you, Jeff, man, I love your content. You're like, yeah, in a way it's you already know it and they're reaffirming, and now it's easier to accept the compliment. Be like, thank you.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Yeah. Wow. You had said something about like listening and body language. One of the things I read in your blog was you like to watch presentations or conferences with no sound.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, you did your research, huh?
Well, yeah. I read a couple pages. ChatGPT told me.
Yeah. That is something it's good for. Yeah, it's amazing for that.
Yeah. But tell me about that, about watching a presentation with no sound.
Yeah, I watch it in 2x, fast forward, and you can see, if you start doing this, you'll see body language in action. And it used to be, in the old days, comedians wouldn't use body language. But watch them nowadays. Mm-hmm. They're using body language on a big level, a lot of them. And if you're watching it in fast forward, you can kind of pick out what they are, where this is where this is a punchline. You know that this is, you can see them excited here. They're explaining this, and if you can see those and pick out the parts where they bring it down, you know that speaker is going to be engaging an audience. I can guarantee it. I've watched it thousands of times. But if you can't, if you're watching it and you just see their arms like this the whole time, let's say I'm talking to you and you notice that my fists are clenched like this and my face is tight and red and my ears are smoking and I go, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. What do you believe? One, my body language, or two, my words?
Yeah, your body language, totally.
So
Yeah,
when you get on
100%.
stage and your body language isn't matching your words, the audience isn't believing your words.
Huh.
They may be listening to them, but they're not you're not getting the full buy-in from the audience that you could be getting.
Yeah. So that makes your body language at least equal to or more important than your words. If you're doing a speech, you should be focusing on your body language just as much as your words, right? Yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah. Huh. I tell people that like I've taught a couple courses on video and cinematography and stuff, and I've told the people, number one, like the most important thing in your video isn't the video, it's the audio, right? It's
Yeah.
how clear your audio sounds.
Right.
If your audio sounds like garbage, people will probably skip your video. Doesn't matter how good 4K, 8K it is, right? But the second thing is lighting,
Yeah.
right? Your video has to be lit well as well. So audio is number one, lit well is number two, and then the third thing is like video.
Yeah. That's the third thing.
Yeah, in video.
And you would think this is the first thing in video.
People do think they'll go buy that big expensive camera.
Yeah.
And they'll ignore lighting and they'll ignore a microphone. Like I would buy a $400 microphone before I would spend an extra $400 on a camera.
And they've done
Yeah.
studies on that, actually, even in the speaking world, about audio. People, I can't remember, I can't quote the study or cite it, but the audio, people will listen more to audio. They'll listen to the engagement of audio. Even body language and audio go together, right?
Oh yeah.
Over your words aren't even that important. That's the thing. You don't really need important words. And if you listen to the old, like Winston Churchill, like those original first recorded speeches,
Oh yeah.
they didn't maybe use a lot of body language, but listen to their audio. And then we shall go down, and we will not. And you listen to their audio, it's different. Today we've dropped the ball on the speaking world. I hate to say it, but we've allowed speeches to just be anybody can speak. And we're accepting that low bar as a bar. But it's gonna change.
Yeah, you would think like with so many people making content nowadays and being like doing TikToks and all that we'd be way better at that. But
Yeah.
we're actually not, eh? We're
I
getting
would say
worse.
we're not, because even though I sit and I talk to the camera, if you could just yap to some people get successful doing anything, right? Some people just sit, there's a yapping thing going on right now, challenge, where just yap to the camera.
Yeah.
A few people are going to blow up and be huge, but most people are just going to yap to a camera and get no traction from it. And it's just kind of how it is. There always has to be someone who does the opposite. Lex Friedman, huge
Love his podcast.
interviewer. Love his podcast. People love it. The guy does not use body language.
No.
Right?
Even you can hear it.
Like he doesn't
yeah.
use vocal inflection, anything. But he's a huge podcaster. People love it. And so there is always that side. And that's why we got to figure out where people are at, and then where that's him. He doesn't care what people think. He wouldn't be asking you, like, what do you think about how I speak in my podcast? He doesn't care what you think.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him unique. So when someone does care, when a speaker goes on stage and they find out I'm a trainer, and afterward they're like, so what did you think of my speech? To me, that's somebody who's like looking for validation, who's not 100% confident of who they are.
Oh, really?
Whereas if somebody really is confident about their speech, they're not going to ask me for validation. They don't care what I think.
What if they're like overconfident in their speech and they just want praise? You get people like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's the other end of the spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
You see the whole spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And A lot of times that is not an indicator of great speaking either.
Yeah.
It could just be ego speaking.
Ego, yeah.
And another thing about in the world of speaking is a lot of times people don't really care about, I used to think that I had a great story to tell. Like people are going to care. People don't care about my story. The reason I started training was because I found out there was more money in me being able to help other people tell their story than I could make from my own story. And they care about who this person is. Like if you're a celebrity, you could get on that stage, people pay tons of money to bring you in. If you're a great speaker, subject content matter, and you're not known by anybody, you got to grind hard to get onto a stage.
Yeah.
There's a speaker I know, he's a Hall of Fame speaker. He's been doing it for 20, 30, 40 some years. He lost a job to Pookie from Jersey Shore. People just wanted to hear, or Snooki, or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
He lost a gig to someone that you wouldn't think would, I don't know, maybe people love listening to her, but.
I know, yeah, isn't that frustrating? That would be frustrating, yeah.
And so people care, we're almost in this phase where we just care more about the whoever the celebrity status that you have than we care about the speaker. And that's one thing I love about my clients is I work with clients who already have a lot of status in their industry, so they're empowering.
Yeah. For somebody like myself, who's just like a one-man show, like, would I benefit in any way from like learning your program?
Yes.
Right? Yeah?
100. You would
that
benefit in many ways.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me a couple ways that, like, what I would get out of it.
You would love to listen to yourself and watch yourself on video.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
I think that's the most powerful thing that you would get out of it.
Okay.
Because if you love to listen to yourself and you love to watch yourself, it would change the game for you.
Oh, yeah.
And you would, you would just be you all the time. And it's not just about you being you. It's about you being any version of you that you want. You can tap into different versions of you. So you could, if someone's on your podcast who has low energy, you're gonna bring it up. You're gonna be in control of that conversation. If someone comes into your podcast and they want to take control of your podcast, I'm in control. I've got the mic. Yeah. You're gonna be able to take it back and control. Always, it sounds like a bad word, control, but you can own the conversation that you're having.
Oh yeah.
When I'm on stage, people in the audience all the time, they always think that they're smarter than me, or because I'm a trainer, I train speaking. They all think they know. A lot of people, not all of them. A lot of people think that they're better than me. Well, I can't come in and have any doubt in my mind of decide I need to learn about them and establish myself as that credibility, and that's just using my own techniques to stay. I don't know if it's sounding egotistical when I say it, but if I didn't have that kind of confidence, I would have had a lot of failures in my corporate training, because these are people of status. They're already got 5 labels behind their name. They're already like somebody important, They don't really just take advice from anybody. And so I have to earn their trust in me and keep and control that conversation is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, interesting. Okay, if I did want to look into your program and other people wanted to look into your program, how would they get in touch with you?
They can find me, Devin, D-E-V-I-N, Bianz.
Bianz?
B-I-S-A-N-Z. They could just Google my name. They'll find my website. I have online courses. I do an online program as well. It's something that I really want to grow. I want to grow it to 1 million people internationally. That's the goal. We're still at the very beginning stages of it, but I have online programs. I work one-on-one with people. I do training. I talk on stages. I travel. And, even speaking to you right now, one of the things I've got it sometimes I think about as well is about that content situation, because I love coming here. This is great. And I love bringing my wife around because she does back end scenes and stuff. Yeah. But really, when it comes to content, I'm not a social media person. But yet, I run online training programs. So there's like this little contrast for me where I just don't really want to be the one doing it, I guess.
I find the same thing with what I do. I love showing other people how to do it.
Yeah.
But see me promoting my own stuff, you'll never see that.
Yeah.
But yet I promote everything that's going on in Prince George.
So true. Yeah. And people love that.
Yeah.
People love that. And if you always have new stuff coming out and promoting it, even better. But if you don't, like I always tell speakers too, we have to all get up and we have to be the ones preaching and speaking and sharing our message long before anybody cares.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Devin, that was a great conversation, great chat. I'm so glad you came in and high five.
High five it.
Yeah, awesome.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Looking forward to talking to you more about this.
Excellent.
Yeah.